Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys about Ready to Love. Yes, it was another crazy episode. I actually really liked this episode. I can't lie to you, there's a lot that was going on, but I really did like this episode. I think there was a lot to discuss from Ashley, Zadia, Sharice, and Zadia, Sharice, Vern. I think they all had some issues that we can break down. I think first and foremost, I want to say this: Myel, what the is going on? What the frick is going on with Myel? Myel, what is going on, broski? You are flopping the ting. What's going on? I just want to know what's going on with Myel. What's going through his head? Yeah, you knew you went to talk to Van, and you knew you grabbed her number. I'm so confused. What are we doing? Okay, what are we doing? Okay, second of all, obviously Sharice has a decision to make between Maurice and is it Nick? I can't lie to you, it's a tough decision because I actually really do like Nick. I think she's definitely attracted to Nick, but I haven't seen anything as of yet that screams connection. I'm hearing a lot of six pack. I'm hearing a lot of good looking. I'm hearing a lot of good, you look nice. I'm hearing a lot of attraction, but I'm not really hearing much connection. And then we have Maurice, and he's a bit pretentious. He doesn't talk too much, but he started putting a bit more effort in. And I'm like, okay, cool. I hear it. I see there's more connection there with Maurice. But again, it's not all the way there. It's not all the way there, but it is better, I think, than Nick's situation, right? But again, it's a fostering of a connection. And then we got obviously we got Vern, her situation with Tabari. I think they were trying to make it work. I don't know if it's the right relationship, but I see they're trying to make it work. And I wonder if Tabari's a little bit in his head. The fact that he didn't message her during the course of the day and then saw her at the event. She was a little bit frustrated by that. I was like, oh, I don't know. One text, is that a problem? Well, it depends on what kind of text it was, and depends if the person was aware of the fact that you were going to be busy during that day. I get it. Then we also had Ashley and Zadia. Okay, now let me just be honest with you. Okay, Ashley and Zadia. Ashley, I'm gonna need you to reel it all the way in. Ashley, I'm gonna need you to reel it all the way in. It's starting to become problematic, and I say starting, it's been problematic, but it's annoying now. What are you doing? Okay, all right. What are you doing, Ashley? I understand that you have a connection with Kirsten, but you were sliding down the wall, okay, all right? You were sliding down the proverbial wall, and you told Tamika, he's good looking, but I can't go back there. I need to know my worth. And your worth is worth chocolates and flowers, and you're already back in the good graces, and then telling Don that there's someone else chasing you now, sliding down the proverbial wall. Okay, we're going to talk about her. Zadia, I felt a little bit sorry for her in this episode. I can't lie to you. Now, she does need to get a clue, but I do feel a little bit sorry for her. I did feel a little bit sorry for Zadia because I get it. You've connected with Cam. You two have got close together. You've really invested your time. It's your eighth date, as you said. But the brother didn't make it clear this episode. Now, he could have been even clearer by saying, let me end it. But he was pretty clear. I don't have the time that you need. Okay? He was pretty clear. I don't have the time that you need. And he said, Nana, listen, don't try to stop your blind dates. Keep going on them. Okay? All right? So I need you to focus on that. And you're right. Yes, what Tamika said to Cam, yeah, that's a bit political. We're going to talk about that. But listen, we're here to talk to you guys about Ready to Love in the latest episode. So we're going to break it all the way down. And then tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll do a separate video. I do want to do one for Zadia, and I want to do one for Ashley as well, and get a little bit deeper for them too as well. All right, cool. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for the notifications of the uploads. We appreciate y'all. We want to make sure you guys know that we're here to entertain and educate at the same time. So we're going to talk about the show, but we're going to educate you as well whilst we do it, okay? If you've done so, you can join our membership. It's £1, it's $1, and you can join the family, the gang, the team. We'd really appreciate you guys joining. For those of you who are already part of the team, fantastic. Thank you. If you haven't done so as well, you can also join our Patreon gang. We're going to have some more stuff coming in 2024. I've got some things planned for you guys. And you can get your merchandise, okay? The link down below. Go on our store, Teespring, Little Black Book. We have some stuff for you guys you can get into. And you can wear as well. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, Carnage. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this conversation, okay? For those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Look, let's get into this because, oh, baby, there's a lot to break down. First of all, let me talk about Myel and Vern, okay? Okay, now, let me tell you this now. Vern was hurt. Now, I'm going to tell you straight, Vern was hurt. Did you see her face? Did you see her face? Let me tell you something. I watched it and I saw Myel's face. I saw Myel and Vern in her face, and I saw that she was emotionally hurt by the situation, right? Like she had at least put some coins into Myel. Now, I don't know if she's more hurt by the fact that she wanted him to want her, and she's more hurt about the fact that he didn't want her, and more of a bruise to her ego than anything. But she was clearly annoyed, a little bit hurt by the situation, right? Vern was like, wait, hold on a minute. What's going on? And I'm to be fair to her, I can understand. Because her brother was doing the most, right? You're doing the most, and she gave you a second chance, you know, to redeem yourself. And in the second chance, you turn around and tell me, actually, you wanted Sharice? Oh, go and tell Sharice I actually want her? Are you all right? Are you in your right mind? Are you okay, Myel? Not because I think that, you know, Sharice or Vern is better than anybody else at the end of the day, but are you all right? What are you doing? What game are you playing? Right? Clearly you took her number for a reason. So what game are you playing? What game are you playing? Tell me. Because why are you sitting there right in front of my face and saying, actually, I want a Sharice? And you had to have a whole conversation with Tamika. You had to, you know, talk about your decision of you choosing to get the number of, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Right? Now, of course, I already said originally that, you know, Vern could have handled it better. She should have gone to Sharice and told Sharice, is it okay if he takes my number? But Vern was being sneaky, and she tried it, and she got played, okay? Like she said, can't play a player. That's what she said. You can't play a player. Well, why would you call it you can't play a player? Because you're a player. That's why. You can't play a player because you're a player. That's why you're saying what you're saying, right? You didn't say you can't play a player who used to play. You said you can't play a player. The reason why is because you like playing, Vern. And there's a psychological term that I heard, which is called maximizing. And some of us do it, right? And what it means is people almost like, they want to maximize their options, right? They keep going for more. And they want to find the almost perfect person. So they keep maximizing their options, keep optioning, keep opening. And I feel that's what Vern does. She wants to keep opening, and she wants to have as many people that want her as possible, right? She gets off being wanted and being desired. And I hear it, and I'm not vexed at it. It's just that it puts you in positions like this, when you should have been open and honest about the intentions of Myel and told Sharice, hey, look, he should have talked to me. You know, he's trying to talk to me. Is it okay if he takes my number? And then Sharice could have given her blessing or said, no, I'm a cool. Right? Simple as. Okay? So that's all it was. And then Vern and Tabari, I'll be honest with you. Vern and Tabari, can I be honest with you about what Vern and Tabari are? I don't see it. Okay? I just don't see it. That woman is tolerating that man. Okay? Vern and Tabari, she is tolerating him. She doesn't want him. She just wants to tolerate him. And him being there is just making up the numbers. Every time I see them talking, I almost see the irritation from Vern. It's almost as if I'm gritting my teeth to be around you. I'm gritting my teeth to want to be, to be interacting with you. And I always say this: don't be in a place where you're tolerated. Go to a place where you're celebrated. And he's not being celebrated here. And I knew that because originally when she made a comment about him being not so serious and she's trying to figure it out and wants to bring out the more deeper side of him, now I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't see the interaction. I don't see the fun. I don't see the spark. And that's okay. Sometimes you got to move on, right? Sometimes you got to move on. So yeah, for me, Tabari and Vern, I don't see their connections. I don't see the energy that you get interested in. Um, so what I also say is, what did he identify as? Is he a believer or not? Because Vern said he's a believer, but when he described what he was, he couldn't describe very well. He said, he identified that he's not. I don't know what he said, but he didn't give any specifics. And so when she concluded believer, I was like, huh? He didn't give no specifics. So again, I'm like, okay, are we just adding to try and for the sake of keeping him around? Because the answer wasn't satisfactory. I was like, what believer? Because I didn't hear no answer that said to me believer. Now, unless they edit it in a particular way, I was like, I don't know. Um, I think for Vern and Tabari, and then the tech situation at the very end, she was like, I wanted to see what you're gonna do, and you didn't mess with me all day, and then you text me. I wasn't even sure 100% what happened there. I was like, wait. Are we vexed because he didn't message you course of the day, or is this a behavior that he normally does? What is the actual issue here, right? Because I think he said he texted her and said, etc. etc. But I was like, what is it you actually wanted from him, Van? I wasn't sure what she actually wanted from him. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me. I wasn't sure what she wanted from him. I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, what does Vern want from Tabari? Did she want him to message more during the day, call? What is it that she wanted? I wasn't sure. I can't tell you. Maybe my brain just wasn't picking it up, but I didn't see it. So I'll leave that behind. Let's leave that then. Vern done in that regard as well. Okay, cool. Let's talk obviously in Sharice because Nick plus Maurice. All right. Oh, okay, cool. That's fair enough then. That's a fair enough point because I definitely didn't hear that. Um, yeah, and that's very true. He was the only person that went empty. No, well, I don't know if Cam brought something, but yeah, he was. I noticed that he didn't bring no gift. I did notice that. I can't lie to you. I did notice that he brought no gift, and that that Don and oh boy Nick brought a gift, but I saw his hand empty-handed. I saw his hand on the table, and I said, "Your hand is empty, but the table is what you're holding on to, my friend. You're gonna be in trouble." But yeah, I did definitely saw that as well. So good pickup as well. Okay, so Cam brought a gift. So he's the only one that didn't bring a gift. It's not looking good. The final rule says obviously these ladies need to realize the phone but works both ways. I definitely hear that. I definitely hear that. Yeah, definitely hear that. Cool. All right, cool. Sharice, Nick, Maurice. Let me be real with you, Sharice. I like Maurice. I like Maurice because I think that works for Sharice. On a normal person, I don't like Maurice for anybody. But for Sharice, I like him. I don't know. It she had a and to be fair, let me be real with you. When I saw Maurice and I saw Sharice together, I love the fact that they both, pretentious, got a little bouge to them. Um, But like she said her conversation with Maurice um, was a little empty, which is interesting because baby, you was complaining when old boy, what's his name, one that you sent home the other day, had a good conversation last week. Last week you were talking about how old boy had good chat, but you sent him home. Now you are saying Maurice doesn't have Maurice doesn't have good chat. What do you want, Sharice? What do you want? The brother you sent home last week had good chat, good conversation. You said he had better chat than this guy Nick, right? Now you're looking at Maurice and saying it's empty, it's not enough. You said at one point that too much conversation ain't good. What do you want, Sharice? Okay, all right. What do you want? Now, of course, he's been speaking to her for the past week. She said he's been consistent. He's been talking. He's been having conversation on the phone. Okay, and has been, really involved in the process, even though he wasn't in the process. And so him coming back has really helped her because, they've had some conversations which have been consistent. So yeah, let me turn my phone down because I'm gonna be getting messages through. I was like, okay, okay, fair enough. And then obviously, then Sharice obviously had a connection with Nick. Now, let me be real with you. I actually really like Nick. I think he's a cool guy. I just don't know if he's the right guy for Sharice. But I love the lightness of their flirting and their enjoyment of their time together because when you watch Sharice with Nick, I love the fact that they were saying about they wanted to do the first things ever. He's never been to the bar on the floating or moving bar or whatever. And he wanted to take her somewhere where they've never been before so they can both have a good experience first time ever. And I was like, whoa, that's really lovely. It's nice. That's a good vibe, and it's nice to share something that you both haven't done before and have your firsts. And I was like, I really like this. But is it me? But even though they flirt, they talk, I just feel like there's a distance. Am I the only one? I know that obviously you're sitting across from the table, but when I watch Cam and Zadia, I see it a little bit more disclosure, like they're more close in terms of the intimacy. But when I see Sharice, Maurice, and Nick, I always feel like there's a chasm between the two of them. I always feel like there's a gap. Like even though they're talking and vibing, even though she's flirting and he's flirting, I never feel like they're very close. I always feel like they're separated. So it always feels like they're on one side and the other person on the other side. I never feel like there's a natural flow. You get what I'm saying to you? So I don't know. I enjoy them. I just feel like there's a gap, and I feel like that can't be closed. I wonder if that's because I'm sensing. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. Maybe that's what I'm sensing. I'm sensing something deeper than just the conversation. That there's that wall that Sharice puts up, and it creates distance, and so I can't see it. So whenever she's with Nick and whenever she's with Maurice, I just can't see them, you know, beyond just them sitting at the table. You know, so I wonder what Sharice needs to do to get to that place. But I feel like she still needs to work on that intimacy piece and work on that opening her heart piece, and just she's very controlled and very upright. So whenever you see her talking, you see her, she's very controlled, very poised, very upright. You never see her leaning in. And I think that's what you never see Sharice leaning in. You never see Sharice kind of a little bit more of a different body language. You see her kind of um, gravitating towards our person. You normally see her kind of upright. Da, da, da. And the only time we saw her break that mold was with Myel when she sat down and they were on the couch and she kind of leant her head against him. But even that still felt a little bit, it weren't natural. So it's again, I felt like that guard that she has emotionally just plays a role, even in the way she body language. It doesn't allow for a more natural interaction. Like I feel like she just needs to let loose. Just you you know, just to feel free, and give yourself the best chance, because it's hard to then connect to that person fully. All right. So that's Sharice for you. Let's talk. Obviously, then let's talk. Ashley and Don and Kirsten. Blow your freaking mind away. Ashley, Don, and Kirsten. Ashley. Baby, what are you doing? What are you doing? My biggest problem and issue here is, sis, you're doing too much again. Just when we thought you had turned the corner, you turned it back and came back round again. This, okay, you got a second chance to actually say, I want to make the right decision. I want to stand strong on my principles. And you know what? Actually, I did learn a lesson. I thought you did. And then Kirsten pops up with chocolates and flowers, and sis, you're sliding down the wall again, talking about how that he reminds you of some exes and stuff, and then you're saying he's hot on your tail again. He reminds you of some of the exes, and you're saying you don't want him to remind you of your exes, and yet you're going back to him again. What was the point? Tell me, what is the reason? And so for me, I'm like, Ashley, you've been given this opportunity to change what you did last time. You've been given an opportunity to deny your old habits and old ways and reaffirm the new direction you're going in. And the moment you get a chance, you revert back to old. Right? So, she told him, he's attractive, but he reminds her of her ex. And he said, don't do that, keep, and the reason why is because she always gets to comparing. Ashley always gets to comparing, good or bad. She did the same thing with Zadia when the one with Kirsten, and Kirsten was like, what the hell is he doing? What are you doing that for? Why are you doing a comparison thing again? She likes to compare. I don't know why she does that. I do know why, when she has a comparing situation, because of lack of esteem, right? And she reasons all her thoughts out loud. You don't need to reason all your thoughts out loud. Okay, if you think he reminds you of your ex, he doesn't need to know that. You know that. We don't need to know that out loud. Stop telling every thought. You're oversharing. You're oversharing. You don't need to release everything that's on your mind to us and to him. You're way too open. Right? You are the opposite of Sharice. You're completely open, wide open, busted open. Yeah? And that causes you to have issues because people take advantage of that. You're way too open. You don't know how to have a balance. You're not guarded enough. Right? Right? She asked him, so why? Why does something change? And he said, sometimes you don't know what you have until it's. And then and then she ends up finishing his line for him. Why? You don't know what you have until it's gone. He didn't want you. He never did. You knew that. He showed you behaviors that showed you he didn't want you. Right? He showed you the points that he didn't want you. So sad. Then she ends up talking to Donald. And what she doesn't realize is she's starting to go down the lane of manipulation a little bit here. And it's the same thing that she did with Kirsten the last episode when she tried to flip it on him by saying, oh, I didn't see you fight for me. I wanted you to fight for me. The brother, first of all, when Kirsten left, he left and he did not give a hoots how he left you. When he left you, he was finishing a bottle of water that had nothing in it. He left and didn't say no words. Didn't come to the party, didn't tell you why he didn't come to the party, apart from the fact he was busy. Then he comes back and he comes out with chocolate and flowers and you just cave in. All the work you did, Tamika, what's the point? Then you go with Donald and then you mention to Donald There's an ex that came creeping back up. Sis, you're asking to create insecurity in the other person. You create the dynamic of toxicity that you don't want to be in. Why are you telling me that your ex crept back up and someone's ex is and someone is back in the picture again? Why do I need to know that? Because you're trying to unsettle me, because you're trying to create insecurity, because you're trying to keep me on my toes, but in doing so, you create toxicity. You've created toxicity. You needed not to do that. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to tell me that there's an ex coming back in the picture because now I need to be worried about someone else in the picture. I'm now unsettled. And then asked him, what you gonna do about it? See, Ashley wants to be fought over because she equals that as being desired and wanted. What she doesn't realize is it's not a healthy way to have a relationship. When you put yourself in a place where you want to be fought over, okay, all right, it sounds cute, I promise you. It does sound cute, I promise you, but it's not cute, it's toxic. It's nice because someone seemingly has two people fighting over them, but the reality is when you call for it, all it does is it destabilizes the individuals who are actually fighting for you. Now, if you get a situation where two men are saying, I want you, and they're willing to fight over you, that's a different situation. But you actually are instigating the fight. You want two men to fight. Show me you want me. Now, there's an art of seduction to this as well. There is, partly. Okay, there is a part of that art of seduction. But in this particular instance, it's insecurity. Right? And here's the thing. When Don decided, and watch this. When Don said, I'm just going to be me, she was not satisfied with the answers. When Don said, I'm not gonna do nothing different, I'm going to be me, I'm just going to continue, she was not satisfied. Why? Because she wants to see him sweat. Because she's still in a toxic phase, doesn't realize that she's interpreting the person sweating over her as actually really wanting her. And it's not. It's unhealthy. When you want the other person to sweat for you, it is unhealthy. You want them to grovel for you, it is unhealthy. You want the person to be literally fawning over you, it's unhealthy. It is not a proper way of having a good interaction that's healthy, people. You don't want that, right? He said he's going to be him, and she wasn't satisfied. She didn't like that answer. Because why are you not fighting? Why are you not begging? You're gonna create an insecurity in another person so they can do what? Create an insecure relationship. Then she did something really interesting. I don't know if anyone caught it. Okay, she did something interesting. I hope people caught it. Very much like what Kirsten did to Ashley first time round when he spoke about her nails. Remember this? There's a whole video about it where Kirsten spoke about her nails. And I said, when someone nitpicks like that, so early on something like that, they don't want you. Right? They don't want you. When Kirsten was nitpicking about her nails, I said, he don't want her. Okay, trust me, he ain't want her. Then she started talking about, oh, how you gonna be wearing those loafers? And I said, oh my God, Ashley, what are you doing? Where are you going? She started talking about his loafers, and I said, oh, you're gonna keep on with those loafers? I said, sis, I'd be very careful where you're going, because the same thing happened to you with Kirsten, and you ended up having to defend yourself. Okay, sis, where are you going? Why are you talking about his loafers? You're nitpicking. Let that man breathe. Just after the conversation you just had about an ex coming up the way, it's let me tell you something. If a man, I want to put it in a man perspective, right? We would start calling this almost abusive, right? If a man started saying to a woman, saying, you know, I got an ex coming back in the picture. Okay? I got an ex coming into the picture. Okay, and I got an ex that's hot on my heels, on your heels right now. What you gonna do? How you gonna show me that you want me? And then he mentions after, well, you know what? Them nails that you got, you know, and you're gonna keep having them nails after. All you're gonna start to see is all you're gonna start to, oh, people are gonna like, wait, is this person controlling? Person sounds a little bit abusive. What the hell? You've created instability in them, and now you're questioning how they dress. Yeah, you gotta be very careful. Gotta be very careful. That's how you start going down that line. You know, you gotta start be very careful how you can start going down that line. I'm not saying you can't talk about someone's clothes or nails. I'm talking about there's a time and a season for when we talk about it. There's a way to talk about it. There's a way to say, hey, babe, you know, I'm really liking this, but you know what? Maybe you could try this. You know, there's a way. But she came outright and said, you know what? You still wearing them loafers? You nitpicking because you don't want him. You nitpicking because he's a placeholder. You are nitpicking because you don't want him. Same way Kirsten don't want Ashley. You're nitpicking him because you don't like him. Right? So I was like, Ashley, what are you doing? Stop. And then we saw on the next week, she's gonna get into a fight about clothes or whatever, what suits or whatever. I was like, oh my gosh. Ah, sis. And you've been doing this from the very beginning. Remember, we started off with Don and her, how she blew him up for not texting her, but he did text her. She blew him up. Remember that? She blew him up, right? Now, again, if you add all of that, it can easily look like someone's abusive and someone's manipulative. You blew him up when you first started talking, right? For a text that came through and showed that you were wrong, but you blew him up in front of the whole group, made jokes, made comments. You blew him up. Then you scolded him and sent him home about you wanted. I just need to deep what's happening here. You scolded Don, sent him home, and then obviously you bring him back. You bring him back, and then now we're getting a situation where you're now telling, you know, everything's all good again, and then you cause carnage once more again. This is a typical abuser cycle. I'm not saying she's abusing, by the way. I want to give you that aspect. It's a typical abuser cycle where you create highs and lows. And so now we're in a situation where you're now criticizing his clothing, and then you're also at the same time now you've introduced a third party. Someone could easily say this is triangulation. Someone could easily say this is triangulation. And I'm telling you, if it was a man, we probably would be saying this stuff, right? I don't think she's doing that personally, in that conscious vein and fashion. But it could be looked at as triangulation. That you brought a third party in to triangulate, try to cause a bit of carnage in your relationship to get that person to play ball. Now, I don't think that's the case because I don't think she actually wants Don. She wants Kirsten. She's using Don to get to Kirsten. Yeah. Um, yeah, that was I was like, yo, that's political, man. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's leave that there. You know, let's leave that there. You know, we'll do a separate video where I go deeper into that situation as well. So, um, but crazy. All right, then let's talk about obviously Zadia and Cam. We gonna be out. Zadia and Cam. Boy oh boy oh. Zadia and Cam. Okay, Zadia and Cam. Um, their conversation. I mean, listen. Let me be honest with you. I kind of was hurt for Zadia. At the same time, the truth has been put out there. But I was very much hurt for Zadia because I saw the pain in her face. Right? I saw the pain in her face. I saw the distress. I saw the realization, right? That old boy don't want you the same way. Okay? And I want to be real with you. I think partly Cam didn't realize how much time will be spent in the show in the process, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. Because you started creating distance between yourself and Zadia. See, you didn't say we can talk more about this. You know what? Maybe, I can spend a bit more time with you behind the scenes. You kind of made it very, very clear that you wanted her to go on to other dates. Just like the day before, just like the episode before, you made it very, very clear that you wanted to create distance between yourself and Zadia. Right? You let her know extremely well in this episode. Hey, look, let me real with you. Okay? I ain't got the time. And then you nailed it. You drilled down again this episode and said, hey, you know what? I will be ready in a year's time because I need to focus on things I need to focus on and build. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I said this yesterday. I said this, last week. That anything but a yes is a no. Right? Anything but a yes is a no. You saying I'm going to need a year is a no. I mean, it could be a no for right now, but it's a no. And you need to move on, right? Anything but a yes is a no. So when he's telling you that he's got to build and he's got to grow, I definitely hear it. As a man, I actually really do. I get it. I feel like I'm in that same place. But you know what? It's a no. It's a no. Because let me tell you something. I told you, when you like someone, you're willing to make accommodations. I felt it. So I know when you like someone enough, you're willing to make accommodations. You don't like her enough to make accommodations. Also, she's been trying to get you to move to DC, which you didn't want her to move to DC. You want to stay in New Orleans. You don't feel like she wants to move to New Orleans. So therefore, this ain't the right relationship for you. So what's happening is you like her, but not enough. You enjoy her, but you don't enjoy her enough. Right? You enjoy the company, maybe even the sex if you guys are having it, the intimacy. You actually enjoy it. Listen, he doesn't dislike Zadia. Oh, he really likes her. He just doesn't like her enough to want to change his whole life around. So what I said he was doing is what he's doing. He started what I call de-escalating. Okay? All right? He started de-escalating. Right? And so what he started doing, that's why, he's giving that dismissive, avoidant energy all day. Because that snap that he did today, he did it slightly last week, but he did it today perfectly. The snap that he did, where he was like, you know what? She was like, you need to go on those dates. He said, hey, you need to go on those dates and go and enjoy yourself on those dates because I don't have the time. Okay? I don't have the time. Right? So I don't have the time right now. I got to get you to keep moving. And the time that you need from me, I can't give it to you. So I'm going to let you to keep moving. You go and enjoy those dates. So for me personally, I'm looking at it and I'm going, he doesn't want her enough to want to change anything about his life right now. He sees her as a problem rather than a solution. He does not see her adding to his life. He sees her taken away. He says, listen to what he said. He said, the way I want to love you right now, I cannot love you that way because I need to get things in place. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you really why, right? Because she doesn't add to his life like that. She does not add to his life. She takes away. Not because she's bad. She's just not the right person for him. Just not the right person for him. Maybe not right now. Maybe in a year's time he'll come back and he'll be okay. But right now, no. She takes away more than she adds. Okay? And because she doesn't add, there is nothing he can see that is of worth to want to keep. If I get with you and I'm on a mission and I can see that you're adding to me, I can make accommodations. Yeah, I can make accommodations, right? But he's not willing to because I'm telling you, he does not see the investment being worthwhile. So as a man, you have to think. We think in these very simplistic ways. Is the investment worthwhile? If I decide to open up my life for you, if I invest now, will I get the investment back that I need? No, he won't, and he knows he won't, because he will be putting in and getting out less. Now, if he gets to a financial place where he's comfortable, he might want to be with Zadia because then at that point he doesn't care about the return. And again, return isn't money; it's just it's the ability to feel a particular type of way. That's the point right there. Another round. That's the key word. In this season that he's in, if she's not willing to sacrifice, he ain't willing to sacrifice. Simple as. You're not willing to move. You're telling me you have to go to DC. And I told you about this controlling behavior that she wants to kind of control Cam. Cam ain't trying to be in that space, bro. And he can dress it up all he wants as being as nice as he wants and tell me how much he likes her. And I do hear him. He does like her. You don't like her enough. It's just that simple. And there is nothing coming back from Zadia that is worthwhile to be wasting his time doing that. Yeah? Crucial J said, what more do you want from him? He's been on every episode. Well, he's the one that said he hasn't got the time. So what we want from him, what I want from him specifically is to quit, be done, right? If you're intentional, if you want to play and you both agree to play, then that's cool, isn't it? But I want to be honest with you. He wants to be. If you want a relationship, this ain't the way to go about it, bro. You know, this ain't the way to go about it. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So that sudden pulling out that he's doing, um, I think is a lot, right? Hey, shout out to Araba. Haven't seen you for a little while, babe. Good to see you, babe. Um, he's acting like he's doing her a favor by dating. And the reason why he acts like that is because he knows that every time he does this, he's trying to make sure she knows. He's trying to make sure she knows that he's actually doing something, right? And that she shouldn't take it for granted. That's why he's doing that. Because again, she doesn't sacrifice for him. This is what I'm trying to say to you. And I'm not blaming just her. I'm blaming both of them. They're both a problem. So the reason why he's making it very clear is again, he's showing I'm making sacrifices. This is why he won't choose Zadia in the end. Because he feels like he's making sacrifices. That's why he's letting her know. That's why he's letting her know. Oh, I keep showing up. I've been saying I don't have time, but I keep showing up. He keeps saying that because he's trying to let her know I make sacrifices. But the reason why you make that known to somebody is because you know that other person's not making sacrifices for you. They're not sacrificing for you. So you're trying to almost keep score. Nah, brother, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna live long. You trying to keep score? That ain't love. That ain't gonna build love, bro. Now I do think there might be a little bit of emotional unavailability or distancing or some dismissiveness when it comes to his emotions. I definitely can feel that as well. Because that snap that he did, that way he broke it off with her so quickly, that told me. Okay. So you know, so for me personally, yeah, I can see that, um, that's a big issue there, really. Um, so I definitely I definitely see both of them and their chemistry. But let me see what my point. I was going to go my points. So Sally was saying that on the eighth date, she admits letting her guard down and her heart as well. And then Robin, when she started saying that, she let her heart down and her guard down, and I'll put this in my other video when I do a full review of them too. Did you notice the brother started scratching? He started rubbing his chin. When she said she let her guard down, he started rubbing his chin. He's like, "Oh man." He said, "You might as well." He said, "You might as well follow the process through." He said, "You might as well follow the process through." And she was like, "What? Whoa!" And she said, she can pull out of the other dates, right? She said, "Oh, I can pull out of the other dates And he was like, I got too many obligations. Please, you're starting to creep. That is the typical dismissive, avoidant behavior. When he starts seeing that you're creeping up on him, hey, 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 you're creeping up on me, baby. Keep the distance. I like where we're at right now. In fact, baby, go even further deeper. Yeah, go even further. You're even too close. Go further before I throw the ball. Go further. You're too close. And the moment she tried to close the gap, he was like, "Woo, baby, no, 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 yeah, no, 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 back away from me. You're too close." And so she was like, he was like, letting her know you're too close, back away a little bit. And then so he said, obviously, he has many obligations and a romance he wants to provide and ambitious and wants everything established. He said he wants to grind and win in the future. And if that, that was clear for me. He's letting you know, I don't have the time for you. I got to go. Now, the only issue is that he probably should say, let me quit. But in reality, he's given her the keys to the kingdom. She should let it go. She should let it go. Zadia should let it go. He's giving you the keys to the kingdom. Let it go. Right? Let it go. Because why are you trying to hold on to him when he's told you on 2 occasions to let it go? Right? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, baby, let it go. Right? The brother's told you he hasn't got time. Okay, cool. Bye. I'm out here. So, but she was definitely hurt by that. I felt for Zadia on that. What I did like, she had a date with the other guy, Richard, and I thought like it was a good date, and at least she was open to it. So I had to give her kudos for that. She was open to that conversation, so I'm not mad at it at all. But yeah, definitely, when I saw that, I was like, I was literally like, let me see if another round wants to give her perspective. I always say that she would, if she can give her viewpoint. But yeah, yeah, them two, I feel it, man. I saw they have a stream. I actually recorded it, so I will try and break it down and put it in the week for you guys because it was live. But yeah, there was a lot that was going on in that situation between Cam and Zadia. And he did let her know. I can't lie to you. He was it wasn't 100%, but he was 90% clear with Zadia that I'm gonna be honest with you, we ain't got the time. Now I actually like the new guy because the new guy seemed to be positive, energy wise, and he wanted to let her know, listen, hey, I'm here. Now I don't know. We're gonna see. I think it's gonna be interesting to see, what he might do next week, Richard. And kind of have conversations around, his interest in her. I wonder what would happen further down the line. I don't know how interested Richard actually is, and obviously the fact that she dismissed him so early on it's difficult to come back from when you get dismissed like that. It's difficult to come back from situations when you're dismissed like that. Yeah, I think that'd be it. But let me get Jay on just to give her perspective before I bounce. I've got last 10 minutes or so, so let me get Jay on. Yes, JJ.
Hey, I'm gonna just be quick because I'm at work real quick. But let's talk about Cam and Zadia and the new guy. I think as much as I like Cam and Zadia, and we've been rooting from the beginning, Cam is tapped out. And I think what he's trying to do right now is just in his mind, do the noble thing as letting her end the relationship. I don't know if it's because he's like, it'll look better on TV or if this is just his personality. Now, if this is his personality, he has some things to work on because for me, when you have a problem of just telling somebody, you know what, this is not going to work anymore, that's how people linger. And you have exes staying in the background and not going away. And so that's something, if this is him, that's something that he needs to work on. What Zadia needs to work on is actually picking up the clues and saying to herself, you know what, you actually don't align. for what I want right now. We can chalk this up as a friendship or cut buddies, whatever you want to do right now. But if she wants something serious, she needs to go ahead and open herself up to more options, like he is suggesting, and find somebody that is more aligned to where she is right now. So I just feel like at this point, I don't know what she's going to do next week, but I think she just go ahead and let him go. Clearly, people are still talking to people in the background anyway, so it's not like she got to completely let him go. Just let him be off the show. And they can keep whatever they got going on in the background while she figure out somebody else. As far as Ashley goes, you're not lying at all. She's teetering into dark arts and manipulation, and I don't know if this is because this is something that she's dealt with in the past and now she's trying to use it as her way. But to sit here and actually tell a person that you're not fully interested in, that, hey, I got other people chasing me. Okay, well, be free so them other people could chase you. This is that one time I really agree with y'all where if you don't like me, let me go, because she don't want him. Physically, he's not what she wants. She wants to chase the physical. And I don't want to bring Kathleen's situation up, but we seen yesterday, and if you guys have not seen that live yesterday, I forgot the title is under. It's under a disguised title, but it was a really good discussion with Kathleen Owens. And if y'all seen that, she was chasing a man for physical, and it got physical. So sometimes this is why we say we don't be always going for looks as women and stuff, because we want the safety of it all. Some packages are just not that safe. And for her, she knows Thurston is not safe. So why would you even entertain him as to, oh, he brought me flowers, he brought me nuts. He'd have brought me all that, and I'd be like, that's nice or whatever, but why are you here? Why are you here? Because you wasn't here when you were supposed to be here, so why show up after the fact? She got a lot of healing to do, and if she doesn't do it soon and just like really spend time with herself, she's going to keep going down this lane of these type of situations where she's chasing after the wrong person because that part of her is not properly like fixed. That little part, that little girl in her that wants whatever it is. I don't know what her true issue is. I know that she had a good relationship with her daddy, and maybe that's what she's chasing, a man that's something like her daddy. But if she step backs out of the daughter role of loving your daddy and actually seeing the person your daddy was to the women he was with, you might understand that you might be chasing a player, a guy that's not so good with women. And I don't want to talk bad about her dad or nothing like that, because I don't know the man or nothing like this. But I'm just saying, sometimes as daughters, when we look up to our fathers, we have to step back and not look at them in that position, but actually look at them for the man they are with women. And say, is that really the man that I really want to be with? Now, if he was a good dad and he was good with her mom, or he was good with the women that he had or whatever and stuff, that's a different story. But if she looks at him, Coach, could you not be doing that right now? I'm at work. Close your chest up, please. You distracted me. Y'all in the chat see this. I know y'all did. I'm not the only one. I happen to look up and that's what I see. God damn it. So now you gotta be acting like Ashley out here chasing the daggone bids for their looks. Stop it. No. But I want so much more for Ashley, but she just got so much more work to do. And I just think that she needs more time by herself, loving herself, learning herself, and that would put her in a better position moving forward for the proper love and relationship that she wants. I'll stop for there for a second because I gotta run.
Appreciate you, Jay. Thank you so much. I know you're at work. So listen, you've spoken quite well there. And if you haven't watched that live, I will break it down so you guys can watch it in smaller chunks that we had yesterday, which was was a crazy live, and it was great because we had someone called Kathleen come on and share some really great testimony and story of her particular life as well. I did think to myself with the situation with Ashley and Zadia in the last few minutes, because it's going to get to an hour. I think with those two, I saw with, especially with Ashley, you know, we spoke about that change she wants to make. We spoke about the old patterns of behavior. We spoke about wanting something different now going forward. And you know what? Maybe this is a lapse in judgment from Ashley. Let me give her some grace and say, you know what? You're falling down a proverbial wall again, but you know what? You're learning and growing. And sometimes you fall down before you get back up again. And that's fair. But, you know, I just don't want her to go down the Kirsten lane again so easily. Like the brother ain't even trying. The brother ain't even putting work in. Chocolates and flowers should not be what brings you back to the fold again. Do you know what I mean? Like there should be some at least some hard work there, and that's what I felt like. I would say obviously as well with Zadia that I just wanted her to pick up the hints now because it's very loud, the hints. It's very clear, and I did feel for her, but I need her to get it together and be like, you know what, Cam ain't the guy for me no more. I've done my eight, I've done my eight, you know, I've done my eight dates with Cam and it's been great, but unfortunately, he's just not the right person for me at the moment, and that's fine. You know, we move on. So we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there, and we'll do another live tomorrow, which I'll probably choose one of the couples to do, and I'll go much more deeper. I'll bring the evidence of the clips and stuff, to show that as well, because there's a lot of body language stuff that was actually happening, especially with Zadia and Cam, body language wise. If you watched it, that's why I felt sorry for Zadia, because I could see the light just go. It just vanished. But I could see also how, if you watch her body language, how invested she was in Cam. And sometimes you get so invested in somebody and you're not paying attention to what's going on. And also because the person also has been inducing you. If you guys been having sex, you've been meeting up, talking, vibing, all that kind of stuff. It creates a bond and it creates a connection. And when then that person then snatches it from under you, or when you finally realize the truth for what it actually is, and that light is snapped out like that, it's a painful thing, yo. It can be a painful thing. So I do feel some way, and I felt for her. She just needs to now read the signs. It is what it is now, as well. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys probably tomorrow as well. Much love. And good to see you, Araba, and a few others who've come through as well.